What's good, YouTube? Welcome once again to my channel. For all of my current subscribers, let me go ahead and say thank you again. Thank you. I very much appreciate it. Make sure, like I always say before every video, make sure you like this video, share this video, and comment on this video. Share to all your social media platforms. It would be greatly appreciated. I thank you. And let's just get into the video. I ain't gonna waste no time. Today is actually gonna be a different type of video. This will be more so on the serious side. A few funny moments, but more so on the serious side. I'm starting to really grow and think more about certain things. And so what I want to do is, I know a lot of people who, are fatherless, or who maybe their fathers are in their lives but not really active in their lives, you know what I mean? And me growing up without a father, like never having met him one day in my life, I feel like I can speak on that topic a little bit. I know what it's like to feel, rejected or to feel resentful. I'm gonna make this kind of like a series where it's me telling you the benefits that I receive from being fatherless. A lot of people talk about it like, oh, if I wish I'd had my father in my life because of this, because of that, because of, this wouldn't have happened, this wouldn't have happened with my family, that wouldn't have happened. I just want to kind of speak to you on the upside, on the upside of it. So this actually may end up being like a series, just, different, like, fatherlessness made me. Why the police circling? What you want, cuz? I'm just playing. You better not come over here. I ain't got time for that. But for yeah, so this might be, so I think this is gonna be multiple different parts, just because there's a lot of areas that I have to speak on about the subject, So like I said, let's just get into it. I'm not gonna talk too much. I done talked enough already. For this installment, I'm gonna just say fatherlessness made me very independent, first of all. You know what I'm saying? So first of all, let me give you like a little backstory, a little bit, just so you can like understand and you can like really feel me, from a place that you might understand. So let me start by saying, like I said, I know what it feels like to feel rejected. I know what it feels like to maybe be resentful. I know what it feels like to, want a father figure in your life, but for that person not to be there. And it kind of leaves a gap, in your heart or wherever that place is, where it's kind of like you really feel like something's missing. You feel like there's a missing piece. So, for a long time, I held that in, not trying to be strong or nothing. It was more so the fact that, I didn't know him and I never met him, and I just figured I wasn't going to. And so it was kind of like, well, whatever, he's not there, he's not there. It's just me and my mom, we all good. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just kind of how I saw it. It was like, okay, whatever. I actually had an experience a while ago that kind of challenged that, and it was, like I said, I'm gonna just get into the story like I said. So basically what happened was, Father's Day of like, I want to say 2015, I actually put it in the spoken word. It was pretty short. I think it was letter 3. It was like Dear Dad or something. It was pretty short. But I remember Father's Day 2015, I think it was, I was at my old church. We were sitting in the pews. I went to church with they might as well be my second family. They're the ones that actually introduced me to church. Before going with them, I had never really been. I had been one time, but it was like, I just went with an old friend. It was pretty boring. I was just sitting there. I didn't understand at the time. You know what I mean? At the time, Father's Day for me, still actually, has always been a very emotional day for me. And by that, I just mean, it's not like I wake up crying or nothing like that. It was more so like, because of Father's Day promo, I guess, and like seeing it places and seeing people together, it would really touch me in a way that I wish I could experience, but I couldn't. You know what I mean? So Father's Day, we're at church or whatever, and we have the deacon up, deacon or whatever, the choir director, I can't remember what he was. He was up there, and he was, singing and doing this thing, and then he stopped midway, and he's like, yeah, happy Father's Day to all the fathers, and like the band in the back is playing the music, and doom doom ba-chung, doom doom ba-chung, and he's up there, he's like, happy Father's Day, to all the fathers. Without you, I wouldn't be this, I wouldn't be that. He's up there getting real emotional, talking about his dad, and everybody, and literally, when I say literally, everyone in the church had their father with them. Like, everyone in the church had their father with them. Well, except for me anyway. At one point, he was like, all right, we're gonna take a few minutes to go and love on our fathers, go hug your fathers, go tell them how much you love them and how much you care about them. And so everybody gets up, and they're loving on their fathers or whatever. And I'm just kind of sitting there. I'm just kind of like, okay. For me, what it was really an emotional time for me, where I was really trying to hold my composure and not cry, because on Father's Day, for some reason, this channel is gonna be really honest. I'm not gonna keep a lot from you guys. So I think every Father's Day, I really end up crying sometime during the day. I don't know why, or I do know why, but I don't. It's never like a specific time, but it's more so like in moments like this is when I start to have a breakdown. And so, like I said, I had never really addressed my fatherlessness. I had never really addressed him in the first place. It was just kind of like, oh, he's not there, you know what I'm saying? But on this particular day, I'm sitting in church. He said, everybody go hug on your fathers, everybody go do this, everybody go do that. They're playing the music, everybody's smiling and laughing. I'm looking around, everybody hugging on their dads, and you know what I mean, they're all kissing on their dads and all that stuff like that. The people I was with were hugging on their dad and stuff too. I think after a while, it got hard for me to really hold myself or to really contain myself. And so I started to feel myself crying. And so I started to get up. And so I started to get up and walk out. Usually I shed like a tear or two. From my seat to the pew, I don't know how, but like I went from 0 to 100. So from the time I stood up to the time I got out of the pew, I could feel tears dripping down my face. You know what I mean? And so I'm walking past people in the pew, and at this point, the people I'm with, my brother, who he's not my real brother, but he's like my brother, might as well be my best friend. I'm walking past him and he's looking at me. He already knows, because he knows my situation. He already knows like the reason I'm crying and stuff. So he's looking at me like, you know, just like kind of backing up so I can go through. And then everybody else in the pew is kind of looking at me like, what's wrong with him? And like I'm walking out, like tears dripping down my face. And I started to get, like, I'm starting to feel embarrassed. I got to walk. And we used to sit towards the front of the church. So I had to walk through the back, or I had to walk like up the side to the back. And people are looking at me and stuff. And at this time, it's tears rolling down my face. Like it's getting really bad. Like I'm walking. I'm like, yo, I can't even, like, I don't even want to be in here no more. And so I'm walking. And at the time, to be honest, I think what it was more so with me crying, you know, how the crying got heavier. I think it was because I was really mad at myself for allowing myself to really feel what I felt at the time. You know what I mean? Because it was like I had never cried over him before, and before it was just kind of like a I don't know you, I don't need to know you type of spirit. It was more so like oh, you're not there, you ain't gotta be there, you know. And guys, if I do get emotional in this video, you know what I mean, like I said, I'm gonna keep the channel 100% honest. So it's a big thing for me, you know, not having a father and things like that. I'm not saying I don't care. I'm just saying it's like it's a gap, like I said. So I'm walking to the back of the church and I'm trying to hold my composure. You know, I'm walking out of there and I'm walking to the door. I'm like, yo, just do this. And people are looking at me now. Now, I'm talking about like people in the pews are standing up and turning around looking at me like, oh, is he okay? So I'm really starting to feel some type of way. I'm really like, yo, like, why are people looking at me? I'm starting to get pissed off. And so I'm walking to the door, and all I know is I can't remember. I tried to open the door. I ended up punching the door open, and behind the door there's like a tree that sits in the, I guess it's the fellowship hall or whatever it's called. I punched the door open and the tree fell. And then when the tree fell, there was a deacon who was standing at the door, who was like opening the door for the guest that was coming in. And he followed me outside. I'm cussing up a storm outside of church. I'm like, what the man, like, this some bush, like, you know what I mean? And so they followed me like around the block. I don't go like around the block completely, but I walk a little bit, like, you know, beside the church. I just gotta get out of there, man, because what it was, man, the atmosphere, it really touched me in a place that I hadn't really touched, that had never been touched for me before. And so I'm standing outside the church, and my best friend is out there, and the deacon walks up to me, and this is the part I had it in, like I said, in the spoken word, Dear Dad, or letter number 3 or whatever. He walks up to me and he's like, you know, what's wrong? He's like, what's wrong? Are you okay? You know, what's going on? And my best friend is like, you know, he's fine. He just struggles with fatherlessness. And so my deacon, this is when he tells me, he's like, hey, you know, I understand, you know, that you may be angry, you may be hurt, you may be upset, but what you gotta understand is, you can't let his absence affect who you are and you know, your life and what you're gonna do with your life and stuff like this. And he's telling me all this, and he's like, you know, remember that, you know, this is your earthly father, but you have a heavenly father as well. You know, he's basically like saying that type of stuff to me. And at the time, like I said, my podcast, my channel is gonna be 100% honest. At the time when he said like, oh, you have a heavenly father, you know what I mean? And he said more, I'll say in a minute, but matter of fact, I'll come back to that. Basically, don't cry over spilled milk, you know what I'm saying? Basically saying that, like, don't cry over somebody you don't know. You know what I mean? You don't know who he could have been. He could have been a drug dealer. If he'd have been in your life, you could have been, if he'd have been in your life, you could have been on drugs. You know what I mean? If he'd have been in your life, he could have, you know, been an abuser. He could have beat you, or he could have beat your mother or something. Like, he was basically trying to tell me, like, the positive reasons for him maybe not being in my life. You know what I mean? And then, like I said, on top of that, he was like, don't worry about your earthly father because you have a heavenly father. You know what I mean? And at the time, like I said, I'm gonna be completely honest, I didn't really know what that meant. So for him to say, you have a heavenly father, it was kind of like, it was still frustrating because it was like, I don't, like, what do you mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, because for me, it was more so, I've always been a very interactive, very interactive type of guy. I can't talk to you on the phone. I can't text you like that. I gotta talk to you face to face. I gotta be in person. For me, it just seemed like it wasn't enough. You know what I mean? And I know that might sound strange coming out like that, but like I said, I'm trying to be honest, it wasn't enough. It was like, it was like, I heard what you were saying, but at the same time, it was like, but that's not, it's not the same. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I don't have anybody to really talk to really have a conversation with, to really teach me things, to really sit down with me and be able to break things down for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I understand I have a heavenly father, but I would also like to have an earthly one too. I'm not gonna say like I'm the most spiritual person. Now, of course I believe, and I go to church every Sunday. I listen to sermons on the regular. Like, I love it. You know what I mean? I love it, and I'm trying to grow spiritually. But at the time, and still, I still struggle with the fact that, like, I have a heavenly father, but not an earthly one. You know what I mean? I still struggle with that sometimes, and I really don't know why. I don't know why, to be honest. I think it's just because there's still a gap that's missing, and I don't know what it is. But yeah, I'm still really trying to grasp the concept of having a heavenly father. You know what I mean? Just because, like I said, it's different. I'm very, you know what I mean? I'm an interactive person. I'm a face-to-face. I like to talk to you. And so it's hard to really fathom that, you know what I'm saying? After the cry, after I had my little whatever, I guess, breakdown or whatever, I really started to see, man, like, I can't let this guy, it's not just what the deacon said, even though he helped me a little bit. It's not that. It's just, I was thinking, like, I can't let this dude, like, do me like that. You know what I mean? I can't let this dude have me in another place. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I can't do that. And so, like I said, from then on, I've been growing in every part of my life. So I've been growing mentally, I've been growing spiritually. I've been trying to grow in every area of my life. I recently come to a place where I can look back, or I can look at my life and really see, like, where fatherlessness is taking me. You know what I'm saying? And by that, I just mean, like I said, the benefits of fatherlessness. Fatherlessness has made me independent. And what I mean by that is, because I never had anybody to really lean on, you know what I mean? Like, and this may be I don't know, this may be long. I've never really had anybody to lean on like that. You know what I mean? I've never really had anybody to tell me how to do something, or to tell me, like, yo, this is right or this is wrong. Like I said, this video or this channel is gonna be really honest. It's gonna be brutally honest. And so it's like, me, my mother, and my brother all grew up in the same household, you know what I mean? And then my sister didn't live with us at the time. That was a lot. You know, my mom, she couldn't really afford to take care of both of us. It was a struggle all the time. You know what I mean? I said it also in the poem. She made, I want to say, like $400 every 2 weeks, something like that. And then she had to pay for daycare. She had to pay for rent. She had to pay for, the utilities. It was like, she had to pay for all this stuff. We used to stay at daycare from like 4 a.m. in the morning to like, I want to say 5 at night. She didn't have a car. She would catch the bus. You know what I mean? So it was a real struggle coming up. You know what I mean? Like, she tried to do what she could. You know what I'm saying? She tried to give us cable sometimes. It would never stay on. It'd stay on for like a month or two. But she did what she could. And so that's how I thought about it. I was thinking all like that. I was like, man, because this guy wasn't here, we had to go through all this stuff, and we had to go through all this hurt and all this pain. And man, there was literally times when, like, there was no food in the house and we needed something and we couldn't get it. You know what I'm saying? So we're in here like starving, and I don't know where he is. We ain't got no help. You know what I mean? That's just kind of how I saw it. But after a while, like I said, I started to grow. And one of the big things is that, again, it made me independent. It made me not really want to lean on anybody. So I guess it's a blessing and a curse, because when I say independent, I mean, it's hard for me to really trust people. And when I say trust people, I'm not talking about like just relationship-wise. You know what I mean? I feel like that's a part of it too. But when it comes to trusting people, I'm talking about anything. So like when it comes to even my YouTube channel, when it comes to this camera, when it comes to video editing, when it comes to making music, when it comes to all this stuff, this is all me. You know what I mean? Like, this is everything that you see, I'm doing. Like, I have I have a friend that I work with who records videos for me sometimes. But other than that, like, everything that I do is myself, like, because I've never been one to lean on people, because I don't trust people. I don't trust people to do what they say they're gonna do. So it's like, I might ask you one time, I might say, hey, can you show me how to work this camera right here? And if you like, oh yeah, I'll show you, but then you never get back to me, then it's like, okay, that's it. I asked you one time, and then I'm doing it by myself, because obviously you playing with it. I'm not playing with it, I'm for real. And so it's like, that, it helped to make me the person that I am. It helped to make me independent in a way that I don't depend on other people. You know what I mean? I don't look to other people for anything. You know, I don't like to ask people for money. I don't like to ask people for, I don't even like to ask people for advice, to be honest. Like, and I know, like I said, it's a gift and a curse. It made me really touch base with myself. It made me really want to be something for myself. And I hate leaning onto other people. I hate having to deal with other people, because other people just simply, for me, cannot be trusted. I'm talking about school, I'm talking about work, I'm talking about everything. So when it came to school projects, when she would say do a group project, I would never like doing group projects. And that was because I knew that people wouldn't do their work. I'm sure you can notice, like, the video's getting better, the quality's getting better, because I've changed cameras 2 or 3 times. I've changed, you know, I've changed the music software 2 or 3 times. I've changed my editing software 2 or 3 times. Like, I'm just learning everything by myself, and I think it's a great thing, to be honest. I think it's a great thing that I don't have to depend on other people to do things for me, because I feel like if my father was in my life, like I said, there's some stuff that I might be missing out on now because he wasn't there, but then again, it may not be. You know what I mean? He might not have been able to teach me how to do certain things. He may not have been able to teach me how to properly approach a woman. Obviously, if he, you know, had sex with my mom and then left, then what kind of man is that anyway? You know what I'm saying? That's just kind of how I see it. And, you know, it may sound, you know, real brutal, but it's the truth. Fatherlessness made me really independent as a person. It made me really want to do something for myself. I know a lot of people say this, but I think it's really true. Is growing up, I really just didn't feel like I was good enough for a lot of things, you know what I mean? So it's a lot of things in my life that I resent, and I think, or that I regret. In school, I didn't even want to play sports because, first of all, nobody was coming out to watch me play. Like, my mom was always working, so nobody was coming out to watch me play at all. And then at the same time, it's like, I never really had anybody to tell me, like, whether I'm good or not. Nobody really approved it. I never really had anybody say, like, oh, you know, you can do this, you can do that. So I think for a long time, I really felt like I wasn't good enough. I ran track one time, and it was during like a school event. And I remember, man, it was families. It was like, you know, a bunch of people with their dads and stuff. They ran the track with us, and then they went up to their families and was hugging on them and stuff. And after that, man, I just kind of like stood there in the middle of the track, and I was just like I don't even want to do that. I don't even want to put myself in that environment where it sounds real messed up. I don't even want to put myself in an environment where family is. Like, do you understand how bad that sounds? Like, I don't want to put myself in an environment where there's love and compassion, where there's a family, because, like, I don't know what that is. It was always a big thing for me to say, like, man, I don't want to play sports. I didn't join any clubs in school. I didn't do anything, and I regret it now. But like I said, as I get older, I'm finally starting to see the positives in this thing. There's a lot of anger and a lot of frustration in that poem, you know what I mean? And so if you haven't seen it, go back and watch it, you know what I mean? And then maybe you can relate some more. But like I said, man, so this will be it'll be some kind of series, some kind of long running thing. The first one is just saying, again, fatherlessness made me independent. You know what I mean? That's a benefit from it. And the next time I'll have another one for you, and then we can continue that way. Thank you guys for watching this video. There'll be another installment to this one next week, probably. If not next week, then the week after, definitely. I have a spoken word coming out soon. Like I said, I'm working on some bigger things other than standing in the middle of a field, you know, speaking the spoken word to a tree, you know what I mean? I'm actually working on some actual video stuff. So like I said, man, thank you guys for watching this video. I very much appreciate it. Make sure you like, share, comment, and share this over all your social media platforms. Thank you for supporting my channel, guys. I appreciate it. I love you guys, and I guess that's it. And I'm out.